Hello, everyone. Good morning, and welcome back to Sports Today. We bring you this video segment every single morning to help you catch up with things that you might have missed out on whilst you were catching up on some all important rest. Because let's face it, whilst the whole world really needs sleep, the world of sport doesn't really sleep. There's always something or the other going on. And so we help you catch up with these things in this particular video, starting with something that has been a major talking point in the world of cricket, and it is the straining of relations between India and Bangladesh on the cricketing pitch as well. Now, following intervention from the BCCI that forced KKR to release Mustafizur Rahman into the IPL or back from the squad, things have escalated significantly with the Bangladesh Cricket Board declaring that they will not be traveling to India to actually take part in the World Cup. And now it's gone one step further with the with the BCB vice president saying that no, we want a hybrid model for Bangladesh's matches. We will not travel to India. He said that we've seen Pakistan do this. We've seen India also do this when they won't travel to each other's nations and they'll play each other in Dubai. So now we want a similar thing whereby we don't have to travel to India. And he said that that's not good for cricket, but then that's just the way things are right now. And again, this thing is going to be a constantly developing story. And he said these things, by the way, in an exclusive interview with us over here at Sports Today. And that interview will be up soon enough. These are just a couple of teasers which I'm giving you from that particular interview. Another one saying, where the same person has alleged political interference in Mustafizur's KKR release, which I mean, it is kind of understandable why it is he's saying what it is he's saying, but the constant public war of words, the escalation comes at perhaps one of the worst times considering the schedule has already been finalized, everything has been set in stone, and the World Cup is now at this point in time pretty much less than a month away. So not a lot of time, but the kind of storm that India perhaps would not have been wanting ahead of a home T20 World Cup. Plenty of things said in that interview, by the way, which will be up for you guys later on the platform. A couple of more stories which have been doing the rounds in the world of cricket. There's been one very viral fan interaction or between Rohit Sharma and some of his fans, where you could be seeing two young fans approach him while he was inside his car that was moving, but as he extended his hand out to wave to the fans, one of them first shook hands and then they were trying to kind of pull him out, something that led to a bit of an admonishment from the former India captain. And truth be told, I kind of agree with Rohit here. Fan decorum is something that needs to be taught, and it needs also sometimes these celebs to intervene and tell these guys that look, what how you're behaving, what you're doing is absolutely not okay. So well done to Rohit for that. Again, that's a video that will be up on the platform soon enough, and you can check it out right there for yourself. But back to the Bangladesh thing, obviously, this situation has led to or caught attention all around, and now it's also catching the attention of Iceland Cricket, a social media handle that is known to be a little bit on the button when it comes to certain issues. And they put out a statement jokingly saying, before anyone asks, yes, Iceland can take the Bangladeshi place in the upcoming T20 World Cup, and no, we do not have any security and well-being concerns. Our players might, but we do not. Yikes. Definitely, as I said, very on button when it comes to their humor and on point or to pick up on what is trending and what is doing rounds in the world of cricket. So, funny one there. And another thing that a lot of people have been talking about a lot has been the non-inclusion of Shubman Gill in India's T20 World Cup squad. And it is something that caught a former Australian captain by surprise. Ricky Ponting, while speaking to the ICC podcast, actually said that he was very surprised to see that Gill didn't make the squad, noting that whilst his recent white ball numbers haven't been great, it just shows the depth levels of Indian cricket that you can keep someone like Gill, who, lest we forget, was actually named the vice captain on the bench like that. And obviously, interesting comments. But again, if you'd seen Gill's T20 World Cup or T20 form prior to the T20 World Cup, you wouldn't have been that surprised. Switching focus now from the world of cricket to the world of football, and it quickly gets through some interesting results. Manchester City dropped points yet again at home, this time to a Chelsea side that came to the Etihad Stadium without actually having a full-time manager. That's true. They sacked Enzo Maresca before the City game, and while City were leading 1-0 right up to injury time in the second half, they absorbed so much pressure. But in the end, an injury time winner from Enzo Fernandez, or an injury time equalizer from Enzo Fernandez meant that is now 2 points dropped for City, and it also means that they are now 6 points behind Arsenal. So really, if I'm an Arsenal fan, I would say this pretty much is that time. This is Arsenal's title to lose at this point in time. Liverpool, the defending champions, continue to struggle this time. they drew 2-2 to a Fulham side who were pretty actually resilient because again, this was a game that really came alive, you could say, in injury time, whilst it was 1-1 heading into stoppage time. Liverpool's Cody Gakpo got a winner in the 90th, the 7th minute of added time. But after that, Fulham managed to get an equalizer just 2 minutes later. So really a very crazy game, and it means two more points dropped for Arne Slot and his men. And speaking of points dropped, Manchester United also ended up drawing, this time to Leeds United, a one-all draw that actually keeps Leeds surprisingly positive run against the big sides going. Prior to this, Leeds had drawn 0-0 to Liverpool, and these 2 points could very well prove to be invaluable in their hopes of avoiding the drop this time around. So very good form that Daniel Farker's men have been showing recently. So it'll be interesting to see how it is that that goes with Leeds as well. Couple more news before we call it quits. Anthony Joshua, the boxer who recently defeated Jake Paul and was also involved in an accident in Nigeria, has finally issued a statement for the first time since that particular accident that happened to kill off two of his best friends, childhood friends. He just posted on social media saying, "My brother's keeper." It's a way of just saying rest in peace. And obviously, it would have been a tough time for Joshua himself, given that he was also involved in that accident, but managed to escape death, basically, because two of his friends did end up dying. He was in the hospital for a few days, was treated for injuries, but now is out and about. Remains to see though, how this impacts his boxing plans in the long term, considering he was planning to come back to fight Alexander Usyk as well as potentially take an all British heavyweight bout with Tyson Fury. Last bit of news before we call it quits. Novak Djokovic has cut ties with the Professional Tennis Players Association. That is a group, by the way, that he had co-founded and which had also been involved in a class action lawsuit against the sports governing bodies last year. Why? Well, according to Djokovic, he wrote that my values and approach are no longer aligned with the current direction of the organization. What he means by that really is anyone's guess, but it's clear that Djokovic does not see eye to eye anymore with the body that he actually helped co-found. So interesting, really, coming just ahead of the start of the 2026 season, which will see Djokovic once again try and grab that elusive 25th Grand Slam. But that's it from us in this edition of the Morning Wrap. Thank you guys so much, as always, for joining us. And if you enjoy our work, please don't forget, like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap that bell icon, follow us on social media too. We're on Instagram, X, and Facebook. And stay tuned throughout the day for more such updates from the world of sport.